New information this morning in a CBS News investigation of Blue Bell ice cream. Former workers claim management ignored complaints about dangerous conditions at their factory. The Texas facility is linked to a listeria outbreak that made 10 people sick. 3 people died. Jim Axelrod spoke with those ex-employees. Jim, good morning.
Well, good morning. Blue Bell was the #3 brand in the nation, sold in 23 states. But after a listeria outbreak was linked to the product, the company halted production, recalling 8 million gallons of ice cream. We met 2 former production workers who believe it all could have been avoided.
Oh, Blue Bell, the best ice cream in the country.
Founded more than 100 years ago, Blue Bell ice cream has a devoted following. So when it returned to shelves in August following a nationwide recall due to listeria contamination, its supporters rejoiced.
I think there's a story that needs to be told.
But Terry Schultz, who worked at the Texas Blue Bell factory, says there's another side to this story.
A lot of things were overlooked and passed on in favor of volume and expansion. And I think that's the part people aren't seeing.
Schultz worked this floor for 7 months leading up to the shutdown. He says the machines there were old and would often malfunction.
Sometimes these machines would just go haywire and the product would just continually run through the conveyor belt and it would just drop right off onto the floor.
Schultz says workers would leave the ice cream pooling on the floor, creating an environment where bacteria can flourish. He complained to supervisors, but nothing was done.
The response I got at one point was, is that all you're going to do is come in here and bitch every afternoon?
What do you think his message to you was?
Production is probably more important than cleanliness.
It was a culture of keep your mouth shut and do your job.
Yeah, pretty much. That probably did in a nutshell.
It's all about the money.
5-year Blue Bell veteran Gerald Bland operated a fruit feeder in a different part of the plant. He says one way Blue Bell saved money was by reusing cardboard packaging known as sleeves.
Some of them, would be in real bad shape. It's nothing for them to use them 6-7 months before they get rid of them.
They were shipped to Blue Bell distribution centers across the country and then returned to the production floor, oftentimes worse for wear.
They come in off the truck, and the humidity in the truck and from it being cold and everything, some of them would be wet when they come in, and we'd still have to use them.
Water is hazardous in dairy production because it can harbor bacteria, especially on materials like cardboard that are difficult to sanitize. And Schultz and Bland say water was everywhere.
On the wall by the 3-gallon machine. If it had rained real hard and water set on the roof, it would just trickle down that wall.
The whole place would fog up to the point where you couldn't see anything in that place. It was really, really bad.
This is the production line that made the ice cream, later linked to 5 illnesses. Remarkably, its listeria contamination was discovered not here in Texas, but in South Carolina.
It was unbelievable, actually.
Megan Davis is the microbiology division director at the South Carolina Department of Health. In January, one of her inspectors collected 10 products from the break room of a local Blue Bell distribution center as part of random testing they conduct.
One of my employees called me and she said, "You're never going to believe this. I think we have a positive."
It was listeria, a potentially deadly bacteria. It's uncommon in ice cream, so just to be sure, they went back and collected 30 more samples.
All 30 of the samples that we tested positive for listeria.
Stunning.
Yeah, stunning. A little scary that those products were going to consumers, and that because we did random sampling, we found it.
For Davis, the finding really hit home.
I actually had Blue Bell products in my freezer for a kid's birthday party that we handed out along with their cake.
That's where you realize this isn't just in a lab, this is in freezers of people's homes.
Blue Bell shut down the line that produced the contaminated ice cream a few weeks after it tested positive for listeria. But in other parts of the plant, production continued for more than 2 months.
Nothing changed. The last 2 weeks, that's when they changed wash-up procedures, and they started retraining some of us.
Isn't that closing the barn door after the horse gets out?
Oh, I think all the animals got out by that time they shut the door.
Blue Bell told us that pending litigation prevented them from addressing our report, but in a statement to CBS News, they wrote, quote, "We are committed to ensuring we are producing a safe product through our enhanced manufacturing procedures, including increased focus on sanitation and cleaning, ongoing evaluation from independent microbiologists, voluntary agreements with our state regulators, and finally a test and hold procedure. That means they cannot distribute any product they produce until a test confirms it is safe, but their flagship plant in Brenham, Texas is still closed."
That's just a big ooh after that report. We're glad they're talking, the employees, but why are they talking now?
Well, neither one of them has a job. They were part of the 1,400 plus workforce in Brenham that was laid off.
Well, so is the barn door open or closed now?
You heard Joe.
Everybody's out, Nora.
Blue Bell's busy rounding up animals.
Everybody's
Yeah.
out. Wow.
All right, Jim, thank you. Incredible reporting there.